My name is Rahmi Amalia. I'm from English Education Study Program, 3rd semester. Okay, in this video, I will presentation the article from my lecture, Mr. Abdul Shahid, and let's begin. Okay, now I will explain about the article. The title of the article is E-Learning Research in Asia Daring 1996 to 2018 and the 4 country indicators. Okay, the first is introduction. Next, the second is method. Next, the third is result. Next, the fourth is discussion. Next, and the last is conclusion. Okay, now the first I will explain the introduction. E-learning has gained its momentum globally from the COVID-19 pandemic, but teachers and learners were rushed into the e-learning. The recent shift from face to face or offline to face to screen or online learning was commonly ill prepared and designed under the emergency consideration, not the pedagogic ones. It undoubtedly posed some problems such as poor teaching results and unsatisfactory autonomous learning, though at AL 2020. In fact, e-learning has widely been defined as the teaching learning model from face to face to blend to face to screen modes through the use of electronic media, especially the internet and tools to widen educational access along with promote education and training. Sangra et al. 2011. Okay, the next is method. To examine the research performance in the e-learning domain, this study obtained the data from the SDR on the subject categories of all learning in the Asiatic region from 1996 to 2018. The earliest and latest years available in the database. The data included 6 research performance indicators, i.e., total documents, citable documents, citations, self-citations, along with the average CPD and age index, SCIMAGO, and D. Okay, the next is result. Okay, Table 1 shows the global and regional scientific performance in the e-learning domain from 1996 to 2018 by using the 6 indicators of the SGR Out of the 8 regions, the Asiatic one ranked third behind the Western Europe and Northern America in terms of total documents, citable documents, along with citations, and so did it below the Northern America and Western Europe in terms of total self-citation. Other than the 3 regions, only the Pacific one got a place in the top 10 productive countries of learning research. Table 2 highlights the dominance of the United States in the universe of e-learning research with an over twofold productivity compared to the United Kingdom. As the second rank, nearly 16% of the total e-learning documents in the world were published by the top tier countries. Interestingly, 3 Asian countries called rank among them, i.e. Taiwan, China, and Japan. Next, Table 3. Table 3 lists the Asian countries ranked by their total e-learning documents, with the data on the 6 scientific performance indicators. The description of the ASEAN research performance as a whole could be seen. Table 1. The total papers published by the top 3 Asian countries represent over half of the regional productivity and over 11% of the global one. The other 8 countries could contribute about 36% regionally and approximately 8% globally in the range of 1% to 9%. The regional and global shares of the remaining 17 countries with less than 1% contribution were about 3% and less than 1% respectively. Next, like the one was saw in the picture, the world and Asia's scientific productivity in the e-learning domain was at its peak in 2012. During the analyzed time span, the e-learning research grew more rapidly in the Asiatic region than in the world. The average annual and compound annual growth rates in Asia were 51.32% and 13.67%, whereas those in the world were just 12.24% and 6.15%. Next, Table 4. Table 4 shows the 28 Asian countries involved in the e-learning domain ranked in accordance with Table 1 with the 4 national factors. And the next is Table 5. Table 5 summarizes the correlation between the 4 national indicators and 6 research performance once in the Asiatic region during the time span of 23 years. The GDP per capita was the only national indicator significantly correlate with all of research performance once the spending on R&D along with the number of universities and internationally indexed journals were not significantly related the CPD only. Okay, the next is this question. Pivot from the total document, citable documents, citation, and self-citation. In the e-learning domain, the Asiatic region held 3rd position ahead of the Pacific region, Middle East, Africa, Eastern Europe, and Latin America. The same position was also reported by Maurer and Khan, 2010, along with Tibana Herrera, Fernandez Bajon, and the Mayo Anajan, 2018, each analyzing the scientific development of a learning in the web of science database daring 2003 to 2008 and the Scopes database daring 2003 to 2015 using the SGR on of the few database which acknowledge learning as a newly consolidated discipline. Tibana Herrera, Fernandez Bajon, and Moya Anajan, 2018, and a longer studies period, i.e. 23 years. This work called proof that Asia was one of the big players in the e-learning arena. Within this in mind, Asia could also be the region having not only the highest growth and global e-learning market, Belawati 2016, but also the highest scientific contribution at the global level. Okay, and the last is conclusion. During the 23 years period, e-learning research grew faster in the Asiatic region than in the world, behind the Western Europe and Northern America. Asia, with over 150 of the global e-learning documents, was favorable in the 3rd position, followed by the Pacific region, Middle East, Africa, Eastern Europe, and Latin America. The market tendency for centralization of intellectual efforts into e-learning in Taiwan and China in the Eastern Asia could be the driving force behind higher productivity and visibility of learning research in Asia. The relative standing of Asian research into e-learning during the 20 years period could be explained by the GDP per capita R&D expenditure along with the number of universities and Scopus indexed journals continuing efforts from policy to ground levels must be taken to increase the productivity and visibility of scientific development in the e-learning enterprise across ASEAN countries. In this view, the transforming potentials of e-learning could widen educational access, enrich educational experience, and reduce educational barriers not only in Asia but also around the globe, especially when the significance of learning during the COVID-19 pandemic are undisputed. Okay, thanks for attention. Okay, that's it my presentation for me. Have fully understood and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.